Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is related to nation's most anticipated and beloved holiday, Thanksgiving. Before we start, please subscribe my YouTube channel and press bell icon to watch more videos like this. Let's start the video. Perhaps no other non-sectarian holiday has more tradition. Family, friends, food, and football have come to symbolize Thanksgiving, a rare celebratory holiday without an established gift-giving component. Instead, the day urges all of us to be grateful for things we do have. Let me give a brief history, controversies of Thanksgiving. First Thanksgiving. It wasn't until the Pilgrims arrived in the New World. They celebrated at Plymouth for 3 days after their first harvest in 1621. The gathering included 50 people who were on the Mayflower and 90 Native Americans. The feast was cooked by the 4 adult Pilgrim women who survived their first winter in the New World, along with young daughters and other servants. Thanksgiving controversies. For some scholars, the jury is still out on whether the feast at Plymouth really constituted the first Thanksgiving in the United States. Indeed, historians have recorded other ceremonies of thanks among European settlers in North America that predate the Pilgrims' celebration. In 1565, for instance, the Spanish explorer Pedro Menendez de Avila invited members of the local Timucua tribe to a dinner in St. Augustine, Florida, after holding a mass to thank God for his crew's safe arrival. On December 4, 1619, when 38 British settlers reached a site known as Berkeley Hundred on the banks of Virginia's James River, they read a proclamation designating the date as a day of thanksgiving to Almighty God. This was the brief history of Thanksgiving. Now let's come to the party, Thanksgiving celebrations. Turkey pardon. Turkey is central to the Thanksgiving festivities in America. The bird is included in the traditional feast. Each year at Thanksgiving, the President of the United States receives a gift of 2 live turkeys. At a White House ceremony, the President traditionally pardons the national Thanksgiving turkeys so they can live on a farm. Travel. One of the best things about Thanksgiving is spending time with family. Many people live far from family members and travel long distances to be with their loved ones. Thanksgiving is often one of the busiest travel days of the year. Thanksgiving feast. Traditional foods are a large part of Thanksgiving celebrations. Many families include the entire family in the food preparation. Traditional foods include turkey, stuffing, gravy, sweet potatoes, cornbread, mashed potatoes, and cranberry sauce. Many people serve pie for dessert at the end of the meal. Popular pie flavors are pumpkin, pecan, sweet potato, and apple. The wishbone. Some families include breaking the turkey's wishbone as part of their celebration. The wishbone is found attached to the breast meat in the turkey's chest. After the meat has been removed and the wishbone has had a chance to become dry and brittle, 2 people each take one end of the bone, make a wish, and pull. Whoever ends up with the larger part of the bone gets their wish. Helping others. Thanksgiving is a great time to help out people who might not be as lucky as you. Some people volunteer to serve food at homeless shelters, others donate to shelters or participate in canned food drives. How to celebrate a stress-free, gratitude-packed holiday. Designate me time. Thanksgiving is all about the people you love, which can be as wonderful as it is exhausting. Before the house is flooded with the sights and sounds of the holiday, deliberately set aside an hour for everyone to do their own thing with no obligations to cook, clean, or make conversation. Take a moment to breathe and let the time serve as a reminder that this isn't a celebration you have to host, but rather one you get to enjoy surrounded by loved ones. Trust us, everyone will be in a better mood for it by the time the celebration really kicks into gear. Someone else to cook breakfast. While the host is preheating ovens and mixing up stuffing, take the weight off their shoulders by having someone else handle the morning meal. Even if it's just a quick run to pick up coffee and bagels, it's a nice gesture of appreciation to whoever is chafing up the real feast. Start a sharing circle. Although everyone spends a lot of time catching up with those they haven't seen in a while, these conversations can become redundant and often don't go beyond surface level. While everyone is gathered around the table, give each person the opportunity to share something new about themselves. Maybe it's an exciting project they took on at work, something new they just learned, or their latest musical obsession. It doesn't really matter what it is, it'll help everyone get to know each other a little better. Reminisce and remember lost loved ones. On a day made for spending time with the people you care about most, set aside a little of it to think of loved ones who have passed on. Get everyone to gather and share a story or a special moment they remember. Through those memories, you keep your loved ones alive in your hearts and can pass on important family legacies to the next generation. Consider asking everyone to bring a few cherished family photos as well. Whether it's of someone you're missing who can't be there, or just a silly picture of the kids, it's always nice to pore over photos together. Get creative with leftovers. Speaking of sending guests home with leftovers, consider also sending them home with a fun idea of how to use them the next day. After all, you can only eat turkey sandwiches so many days in a row. This can be as simple as printing out a recipe for something like sweet potato hummus or a pumpkin pie milkshake, but it'll make a lasting impression on your guests and give you something to talk when you see each other at the next family gathering. Catch up with far-off family. Thanksgiving get-togethers have looked a bit different for us over the last couple of years. And while many of us are looking forward and thankful to be celebrating in person again, some near and dear loved ones might not be around to attend this year's festivities in person. In that case, give your traditions a 21st century boost and embrace the wonders of technology by setting up a time to video chat with everyone you're missing during the holiday. That way, everyone can catch up and take part in the happy occasion together. Plan a friendsgiving. Even if your friends all have plans on Thanksgiving Day, consider gathering for a meal of good food and gratitude during the month of November. A feast with chosen family is always a good idea and is sure to make for a cherished tradition for years to come. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel for more videos like this.